Hello and welcome. You're watching Rush Hour with me, Ankur Mishra, and let's get started with the comments of US President Donald Trump, who has warned significant tariffs on India at a time when US President Donald Trump has accused India of funding the Russian war. Also, Indian Army has now put in place a remedy by revisiting decade-old chapter in history to put the spotlight on American military aid to Pakistan, and that is to 1971 Bangladesh Liberation War. Yes, in a post that was there on X, the Eastern Command of Indian Army shared newspaper clippings, and that was from 5th of August 1971 with reports of US military assistance to Pakistan at a time. In 1971, India and Pakistan fought a 13-day war in which India scored a decisive victory that led to the creation of nation of Bangladesh that had until been a part of Pakistan, which was called East Pakistan. While the United States supported Pakistan ahead of the war, as news clippings shared by the army show, it also supported Pakistan during the war. After Pakistan attacked India, formally starting on the war on December 3, 1971, the United States came to the active military support of Pakistan and dispatched the 7th Fleet of US Navy towards Indian shores, and that was to pressure India and break the blockade of East Pakistan, led by aircraft carrier USS Enterprise. To discuss this, why this post matters, what is the significance of this kind of pressure which has been put in by not just government but by Indian Army through a post, I have with me Lieutenant General Syed Ata Hasnain. Mr. Ata Hasnain, welcome to ET Now. Lieutenant General, I want to ask you first question. Does this post say more than words? Is it just a reminder, or you think it has much more significance?
See, Ankur, first of all, there's no doubt about it that this is the era of social media. This is the era of influence and information. So if the United States is putting a lot of pressure on India these days on issues related to economics, related to geopolitics, there has to be an element of pushback. And I think what is happening is that different elements within India now, with official handles, some of them and some privately, are pushing back with information, telling the world, telling the United States, telling the people in the United States, see, our relationship wasn't what it was, what it is today. We had a very, very awkward relationship in 1971. We have developed it over a period of time due to our mutual interests. And Pakistan has, in this process, all this while, let you down. It has never supported your requirements. Whenever it's been the focal point of global terror. It's from here that radicalism of every kind has emanated around to every corner of the world. This is what is the kind of message which we are slowly putting around. So I think it's important to tell people around the world and in the United States that, see, in 1971, we were on the side of justice, you were on the side of injustice. And just because Pakistan was your CETO and CENTO partner, just because Pakistan was close to you as a Cold War ally, you did not want to remain on the side of the people who were struggling. Operation Searchlight had led to hundreds and thousands of people being killed. Many, many Bangladeshi women, East Pakistani women being raped. But the United States didn't look at it in that way at all. They just looked upon Pakistan as a partner, because also, if you must remember, a United States outreach to China was just beginning around 1970-71. And they didn't want to upset this. So it's very good that for their interest they were doing it. Today, for our interest, we are putting this out.
General, I want to understand from you the similarity between 1971 and now. in 1971, of course, the support was there, Pakistan more so openly. But these days, Trump often calls India as front. But also there is a lunch which has happened with Asif Munir. Do you think even if US is claiming India as friend, but at the same time, US is also saying they will impose such kind of tariffs, they are threatening, why are you buying oil from Russia? How similarity is there with 1971 and now?
See, if there's anything which is proved by this situation, Ankur, it is that there are no permanent friends and there are no permanent enemies. Everything revolves around the interests of nations. It was the US interest at that time to support Pakistan because they were making their outreach to China through Pakistan. They were also ensuring that they strengthened Pakistan so that the downward push of the Soviet Union towards the Indian Ocean could be contained from Afghanistan and Pakistan. Now is the situation where they still believe that although India is a very important country in the pushback against China, that India is a very important country in the Indo-Pacific, Pakistan has not lost strategic importance for the United States. Its outreach into Afghanistan is still through Pakistan, largely through Pakistan. Also, it does not want to push Pakistan into the lap of China. So it does not want to definitely do something by which Pakistan will be hugely irked. At the same time, it is supporting Pakistan economically to a great extent by sanctioning or endorsing the various loans that the IMF has been giving 24 times, as you're aware of it. 24 times Pakistan has got loans from the IMF. So the United States is playing both sides, India and Pakistan, and largely it claims that, or strategic analysts in the United States claim that it is because it is in the interest of the United States to keep on the right side of both nations, India and Pakistan. And therefore, for us to expect that Pakistan is going to, or United States is going to support us whole hog on terrorism, which emanates out of Pakistan, I think may be a little unrealistic on our part.
Point taken, Lieutenant General, but there was a wide expectation after 2008, especially that India and US relations have actually been better. In fact, there has been so many meetings with the counterparts. How significant you think in the current state of affairs when Trump is imposing tariffs on the whole world and including calling out India, saying that India has been unfair on US?
See, this is one way of Mr. Trump putting pressure on us. You see, he's doing this to the whole world, putting a lot of pressure on everyone to try and get the best possible bargains on tariffs. And this is his way of doing it. Till 2020, till the last administration of Mr. Trump, India was his best friend. If you remember, he came to Ahmedabad, he welcomed Mr. Modi in Texas, and things like that. But thereafter, it's been a slight hot and cold. It's a typical manifestation of what is called the gray zone. That neither is he entirely hot, neither is he entirely warm, cold. He wants to keep the temperatures up and down so that he extracts the maximum out of us to the interest of the United States. I think the strategic community in the United States understands India's importance. And this is not a permanent situation that we should consider. This administration, as I agree now, 6 months old, it will last another 3.5 years. That's not permanent. There's nothing permanent about it. And the relationship between the United States and India will definitely go to a higher plane because the United States needs India. There's no doubt about it. It needs India economically, militarily, geopolitically, geostrategically.
Right, point well taken. But you remember there was confrontation between India and Pakistan not much before, and at that time, several times Donald Trump has given statements that he intervened between India and Pakistan. In fact, he asked India to stop, and that kind of statements has been given by him time and again, despite Indian government saying the other way around, which has happened, and it was India's decision to actually call out what has actually happened. Now, in this scenario, I want to draw a parallel between 1971 and now 2025. Have things changed between India and United States?
Well, yes, things have definitely changed. Our relationship into the run up of 1971 wasn't so very warm. Our relationship to the run up to 2025 has been definitely of a higher strategic nature. We have been making, both the countries have been making a tremendous amount of progress in the pursuit of becoming strategic partners. There is a strategic partnership in place. The quantum of trade between India and the United States has gone up tremendously. India in 1971 was economically a very, very weak country. And so it hardly merited any attraction from the United States in economic terms. Today, with a 1.4 billion population, with a 500 million middle class, almost 450 million to 500 million middle class, with a population which is with a economy which is going to $4.3 trillion today, edging up to $5 trillion, and maybe in the next 10 years to $10 billion. Obviously, the United States will need India. India is already the fourth largest economy. It will become the third largest economy, and so on. Uh, I don't think there's a necessity for us to really look at it in historical terms. We should look at it in the current terms today to see what can we get the maximum out of this relationship. Every country does that. We are not being singled out to be the only country who wants to extract something out of a relationship. Obviously, we want our interests to the maximum as we can extract.
Of course, Lieutenant General, national interest remains supreme. Thank you so much for joining at this hour and explaining the context of post on X by Indian Army. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you very much.